Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. It's Friday, and like we mentioned earlier, we're giving you things to do this weekend. Options upon options upon options. This morning, I want to invite you to a celebration, Beryl and Astor. It's happening tomorrow at the Little Carib Theatre, and I want to welcome, representing Little Carib Theatre, Sonia Dumas, and representing Astor Johnson Repertory Dance Theatre, Joanna Charles. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Welcome to the show, and welcome back.
Thank you.
All right, so what's going on tomorrow? I understand that tomorrow is International Dance Day.
Yes, it is.
What does that mean in the dance community? Let me start with you, Sonia.
It's a celebration of dance. It's an attempt to kind of heighten the profile and increase the profile and visibility of dance to the world, basically. So it's an actual international sort of effort, and you'll see a lot of efforts around the world, a lot of dance challenges. Even here, the Secondary School Dance Educators Association has a dance challenge on now.
Okay.
Because of International Dance Day. And so we just thought we'd take advantage of that because the Little Carib was built on dance.
Exactly.
And we started a mini festival. We're starting with the Astor Johnson Repertory Dance Theatre tomorrow, and then we continue into May.
Nice. Joanna, tell me a little bit about Astor Johnson Repertory Dance Theatre.
So we have actually celebrated 50 years. That was last year, 2022, yes. The company started in 1972 by the late dear Astor Johnson. We have been a company that has been ongoing with its work from Astor and new works from others who just came into the company, and of course members of the company itself.
Right.
This show that we're having tomorrow, please God, well, double celebration.
Right.
Celebrating the International Dance Day, and of course celebrating Beryl and Astor. We have about 8 pieces that's going to be presented on the show. We have new pieces, one by Michael Lucian, Elements of the Soraka. We have 2 new pieces too that were done last year, we could say relatively new, by Terry Springer, Overcoming,
Right.
and then one by myself, The Sweet Man.
Nice.
And then we have, well, Astor's piece, Celebration, and that came out from a sweet celebration to the king. Yes. So
Okay.
that came out from
Tell
the
me about the relationship between Beryl and Astor. Was there one? Is there one?
Most definitely.
Right.
There were collaborations
Right.
in the sort of the 80s, the era of the 80s into the late 70s into the early 80s. Beryl had collaborated with many people, even from the 60s. She collaborated with Derek Walcott and so forth. And there were instances in which there were productions that were full productions, not just dance, but they had acting, they had, music, etc., almost musicals, mini musicals.
Right.
There was a lot of creativity going on. That it was a sort of heyday of creativity when people decided, okay, we're going to do our own thing. We're not necessarily going to do plays from other people. We're going to do our thing. And to do our thing, we need to get all the input from our people. And Astor would collaborate a few times with Beryl or with the Little Carib to do the dance input. And then there were also shows that Astor presented at the Little Carib in the 80s.
Yeah.
And sadly, he passed in 1985, but he has certainly left his legacy in many pockets of Trinidad and Tobago culture.
Most definitely. And I mean, we're going to be able to celebrate it tomorrow night at
Correct.
Little Carib Theatre. What's the ticket price looking like to get in?
It's good. It's real good.
Only 150. Only 150.
And where are the tickets available?
They are available at the box office at Little Carib,
Carib.
and also the members of the Astor Johnson Repertory Dance Theatre.
Fantastic. Now, we mentioned that collaboration. We talk about it being the heyday of creativity. Do we see that level of collaboration still happening? I mean, we see this show happening, but on a regular basis in the dance community. Is that sort of that level of collaboration still happening where different companies come together and do work and produce?
I think a lot of dance companies now operate on their own. They might participate, for instance, in Coco Dance Festival, in a festival.
Right.
All right, so they might showcase one piece of their work in that festival, and there are other companies that they can sort of look at, and people can sort of have a cross-pollination of ideas and so forth after the fact, but not in the actual performance.
Yeah.
So I think there is always a type of creative practice and energy going on. It's just that I think in the 70s into the 80s, remember that would be about 15 years after independence, people were now finding their feet as to, you know, how to define themselves on a stage, in a art gallery, etc. It had started in the 60s.
Identity on the whole.
National identity, but also personal identity. That's what started to come up. Okay, yes, we have a national sort of narrative now from the 60s to the 70s. To the 70s, the 80s now, we're looking at, okay, how do I fit into that? And how do I change that? And how do I change the game? And how do I disrupt it? And I think the Little Carib did, and certainly Astor did, by fusing traditional African Caribbean movements with modern movements and so forth. He was a disruptor as well. And I think Beryl appreciated that.
I'm interested now, when you say things like that, I'm interested in what sort of dance, because I know that there are different styles of dance, the ballet and the contemporary and the jazz and the modern and all that kind of stuff. What do you all do at Astor Johnson?
So it's like a cross-fertilization. That's how Astor put it in one of his interviews. It's a collaboration of different genres, Afro-Caribbean aesthetic for sure inside of there, and of course you will have the contemporary, modern pieces coming into play.
How big is your dance company?
We have over,
about 20?
I think we reach about 20.
We can't count, we lost count. Plenty people.
30 members, yes.
All right, and how do people get to be a part of it? Is there like a...
So we have classes on a Wednesday at Tranquility Hall, and we also have classes on a Sunday at the Caribbean School of Dance.
And you can just show up? And
You can just show up. I mean,
even if I
there's
can't
a fee,
dance?
of course, $30.
But what if I can't dance? Like, you teach me to dance?
Yes,
Well,
we have
we'll
some
be patient with you.
All right, this is very, very interesting, because I do think that, I mean, as we get ready to celebrate International Dance Day, some people might be saying, I want to get back into it. I used to dance when I was younger and, you know, work at me doing things, and I want to get back into doing something. So they can just show up at a class.
Yes, they
but
can.
pay the fee, of course.
We welcome anyone and everyone.
And you said it's Sundays at Caribbean School of
Caribbean
Dance?
School of Dance and Wednesdays.
Wednesdays at Tranquil Hall.
Yes, 6:30 on a Wednesday.
And what time on
and
Sunday?
11 o'clock.
11 a.m.?
a.m.
So that means
on a
it's Sunday lunch, girl.
No,
No,
you're
it's just in time.
for Sunday.
All right, well, it's happening this weekend, tomorrow night to be specific, at the Little Carib Theatre, a celebration, Beryl and Astor. We're featuring work from the Astor Johnson Repertory Dance Theatre and a lot of guest choreographers. Lots of guest choreographers. Tickets are only $150 and you can get them at the Little Carib Theatre. You can also get them from any member of the Astor Johnson Repertory Dance Theatre. I encourage you to go and support and go and be a part of it and go and experience the great dance that Trinidad and Tobago has to offer. Ladies, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning. Do enjoy the rest of your day and happy International Dance Day in advance.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, we take a quick break and come back with more on the Now Morning Show. Stick around.